Today is day 40 of our church fast, and I wanted to reflect on what I've learned from this fast, and what I've heard throughout these last 40 days. I would say that this 40-day fast gave me time and space to really sit with myself. And in sitting with myself, I can clearly see how much has already shifted in my life. The fast brought me that awareness. It brought that awareness back to me that I'm not the same person that I was last year. I am not the same person that I was 4 months ago. There's been a shift, and the shift started with me sharing my story. That's been a big part of this shift in my life. Another big part has been writing my book, and speaking up in my life showed me something. So, speaking up about my life story, sharing my story, brought a level of freedom that I did not have in the past. I will say that now I walk unashamed. I'm unashamed. And I know that God has me. And I know that He has brought me through everything. He's been with me the entire time. And I felt His grace, His mercy, and His love throughout my life. And it's just been I've been so aware of that in this last year, but especially in this last 40 days of just sitting with him and sometimes not saying anything, and then sometimes just having a conversation with him. So I was trying to think of, a way to best describe it of what I could say that this looks like, or if I were to describe it to someone, what my life or what it feels like or looks like for me and everything that God has been doing in me, especially these last 40 days. So I would say one part that I thought about is like peeling away the layers of an onion. Like I thought about that and that, you pull the layers off. But then I said that does not really say what I wanted to say. And I also thought about restoring an old home, like taking it and not necessarily, I wouldn't say restoring. I wouldn't necessarily say restoring. I would say uncovering the original design. You know how you go in homes and people we're going to paint it, we're going to paint over this, we're going to paint over that. But then to the root is these walls and this structure that's been there for years that's still standing and it's intact. And it's been covered up for so many years that sometimes you have to scrape and you have to just remove a lot of things to get to the root of it, to the foundation of it. And then I said that doesn't really sit. So another thing would be unwrapping something valuable over time. It's just like you're unwrapping a gift over time, a valuable gift, and it's taking some time to get the paper off and to get to the gift. That sounds okay, but not really where I wanted to go either. And then I also thought about like putting on armor, like military armor, and thinking that my life has been feeling like pulling off layers of armor piece by piece over time. That was okay, still didn't sit right. And then the last one that I came to was the caterpillar, how the caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. The caterpillar connects the most for me. The caterpillar goes into a cocoon, if I'm remembering correct, and I know I did not do any research to find out, but this is what I remember. A cocoon represents a hidden place. And in that cocoon, they're hidden, they're stretching, and it's a place where they're being transformed into something else. It's a space where growth happens and movement follows. This season or last season of my life has felt like a cocoon, like I've been in a cocoon. I wouldn't even say the last season. I would say In the past, I felt like I was in a cocoon, a hidden place. But in that cocoon, I was being stretched, and I didn't know I was being stretched. So this season now feels like the transformation has happened. The butterfly has come out, especially these last 40 days. I have shared my journey. I have shared my story. I have put it out there, and I'm free to fly. That's what it feels like. And I know a lot has been happening within me, even when it hadn't always been visible. I have felt the shift before the shift happened, but I see it now. And I see now how things that I used to do, I cannot do anymore. I used to remain silent a lot. And there are times when you need to be quiet. There are. But I know now when I'm nudged that, okay, Tonda, it's time to speak up. It's time to talk. Someone else needs to hear your story, your journey, because it's not just for me. And it's not to be told, but I have to think about the freedom that it brought me. And I know the reason why God has prompted me to share it. So there we go. And then I know also that I cannot stay hidden anymore. I'm not comfortable hiding anymore. I'm not comfortable hiding at all. It's almost like stepping out of the shadows into the light. My old ways don't feel the same. That quiet person that sits in the corner that says nothing, that's not who I am anymore. I have experienced real transformation. The version of me that learned how to survive has made room for the version of me that lives now freely. So just like that caterpillar, there has been a transition into something new. I see the parts of my life that have already shifted forward. And I know that there's so much more that will come from that. I can see me flying like the butterfly. This fast showed me the importance of stillness and sitting with God. Um, Throughout this fast, it was a constant thing. Dreams. I would say almost every night there was a dream. And I can say could not remember all of them. I know there was a dream. But then some majority of them I remember. And a lot of them it was so many I had to start getting up. And when I wake up, I had to get up and I had to put them in my phone. So the parts that stood out, that seemed like I needed to remember them. So I had to write them down so that I can remember them and I can go back and I can look at them. And I had to sit with God and say, well, what does this mean? Well, what are you trying to show me? And had to just sit there and wait for an answer. And some answers I have already, some I don't. But I know over time he will show them to me. So it's just been like a constant or continuous unfolding. Another thing that I learned throughout this fast was about relationships and how important relationships are and how important connections are. Now, I've spoke on this before about who you're connected to matters. It does matter. It matters more than what people think it does. But also, when we think about relationships and connections, we have to always remember to keep God at the center of those relationships, because sometimes we can lose ourselves in relationships. So if we keep God at the center, then that's not going to happen. We have to always remember that he is the source. He is the one that ordained the connection, or, hopefully he did, for some people, but you have to make sure that we're not putting our hope and trust in someone else to fulfill us, that our hope and our trust comes from God. He is the one that we draw from and that we trust and that we depend on. He's our constant, and he has to remain our constant. We're not made to do life alone. We're not, but we also need to make sure that God remains the foundation of everything in every relationship. So I just wanted to share that these are just some things that stood out to me during this 40-day fast, and I want to make sure that I carry what I learned forward beyond these 40 days. I want to make sure that I stay grounded in this awareness and continue to live from this place. And I think I'm actually thinking that there'll be some more fasting and praying that I think I need to carry over just so I can draw closer to God. That's how I see it, to draw closer to him. It's never been about, for me, it's not about what I eat or don't eat. It's about drawing closer to him. So if he tells me to do something, am I obeying? That's what it's been about to me. Anyway, just wanted to share. Thought I would share this morning. And I'm looking forward to more conversations with you guys. This right here it's been something, you know. And I will say this because this, I would say, if you would have asked me last year, would I be sitting in front of a camera talking on social media? I would have told you no, no, indeed. But God. Anyway, all right. It's Good Friday. Y'all have a great day today. Easter is Sunday. If you do not have anywhere to go to church, my church, Koinonia Christian Center Church, has services at 7:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 12:30. We would love to see you there. Have a great one.